Have you ever looked in the mirror and thought, wait a minute, why do I look so much older than I feel? If that question has ever crossed your mind, you're not alone. And today's video might just change everything. Because here's the thing. After 60, so many women still feel vibrant, full of energy, and young at heart. But sometimes our hairstyle tells a completely different story. Without realizing it, we can be holding on to habits, haircuts, or color choices that are quietly adding years to our appearance, and not in a graceful way. You might be thinking, I've had the same cut for years. It works for me. Or maybe you've trusted a stylist who said it's age appropriate, but something just feels off. That's exactly what we're uncovering today. The 5 most common hairstyle mistakes women over 60 make, and more importantly, what to do instead to look fresh, elegant, and effortlessly youthful. Now, before we dive in, if you're passionate about aging beautifully and want tips that are designed specifically for women over 50 and 60, don't forget to subscribe to the channel Timeless Wisdom Path. Tap the bell so you never miss an episode. And hey, if something in today's video resonates with you, leave a comment. I love hearing your stories, questions, and even your hairstyle wins. All right, get ready because some of these mistakes might surprise you. And once you spot them, you won't look at your hair the same way again. Let's get into it. Mistake 1, too short and too flat. How super short hairstyles can actually age you. Why the easy cut can actually make you look older. There's something quietly powerful about a haircut that moves. Not because it's trendy, but because it creates light, soft shadows, and flattering balance around your face. When a haircut is cut extremely short and hugs the scalp with no lift, no movement, and almost no layering, the result isn't always the liberation you expected. Instead, it can make your face read harsher, longer, or more angular than you remember feeling. That's because hair does much of the sculpting we've come to rely on. A little crown volume can lift the eyeline, soft side pieces can frame and soften jawlines, and gentle texture gives an overall impression of vitality. For many women over 60, facial structure subtly changes with age. Cheekbones may soften, the jawline may relax, and the forehead can appear more prominent. A very tight, flat cut exposes those changes rather than complementing them. Emotionally, adopting a super short look can also be tied to transition moments, retirement, a significant birthday, or a desire to spend less time on styling. And that feeling of starting fresh is real and valid. But what began as a bold, freeing decision sometimes becomes a hair habit. It's easy, low maintenance, and you stop noticing that it's no longer reflecting who you are now. The good news is this. Short hair is absolutely not off limits. It just needs intention. Think airy pixies, textured cops, or soft, layered bobs that include movement at the crown and gentle face framing pieces. These subtler structures add what I like to call lifted energy. A skilled stylist will use soft layering to create space so the hair doesn't sit like a helmet. They'll lighten the weight around the nape and add wispy fringe or asymmetry to direct the eye to your best features. On a practical level, volumizing mousses, a root lift spray, and a round brush blowout, even a quick one, can restore shape in minutes. If you prefer a low-effort routine, ask for a cut that grows out gracefully. Longish layers that keep movement without daily styling. For those who worry about thinning hair, textured cuts create the illusion of density because texture scatters light and creates dimension. A completely flat finish emphasizes thin. From an emotional standpoint, choosing a short style that's structured yet soft reconnects your outer image to your inner vitality. It's not about trying to look younger for its own sake, but about looking like the energetic, thoughtful woman you are today. If you've worn a very close to the head cut for years and are wondering, is this still me? Try holding a comb or soft brush across your forehead in the mirror to simulate a fringe and see how balance shifts. Or pin soft pieces near your cheek to imagine more movement. Small changes, an inch here, a tapered side there, a wispy bang, can transform how your face reads without sacrificing the freedom you value. At the end of the day, hair should be a partner, not camouflage. The right short style will feel easy and true, while bringing out softness, lift, and the quiet confidence of a woman who knows her worth. 2. Heavy one-length hair. When too much weight drags everything down, long hair often carries sentimental weight. It can feel like identity, comfort, or a connection to decades of looks you've loved. But when length is kept without thoughtful shaping, those same strands can act like a curtain that literally pulls the face downward and masks the bone structure that makes you glow. Heavy one-length hair sits straight down the sides of the face and creates a visual line that emphasizes downward motion, which can close off cheekbones, obscure a jawline, and sap the energy from your expression. For women over 60, hair sometimes naturally changes texture and becomes heavier at the ends, while losing some natural bounce. Left unlayered, it becomes a blanket rather than a frame. That blanket effect flattens the face and can accentuate thinning ends, dryness, or lack of shine. All things that work against the fresh, lively appearance most of us want. Emotionally, holding on to long, unshaped hair often ties to memories or comfort. We remember how it once felt luxurious, or we equate length with femininity. And that's absolutely valid. But the practical switch is simple and liberating. Introduce strategic, light layers to remove bulk without sacrificing length. Layers should be placed thoughtfully, face-framing pieces at cheek and jaw level, long layers through the mid-length to allow movement, and a softer finish at the ends to avoid a blunt, heavy line. This creates lift and makes hair catch the light, which amplifies perceived health and fullness. Styling options multiply with layers: a gentle tousle, a low-textured pony, a partial tuck behind the ear. Each movement shows dimension rather than weight. For those concerned with maintenance, subtle razoring or point cutting can deliver long-lasting shape that needs only occasional shaping trims rather than frequent restyles. From a product perspective, a lightweight leave-in conditioner, a volumizing shampoo that doesn't strip, and a restorative mask used weekly will keep long, layered hair resilient and luminous. Thick or coarse hair benefits from thinning only where necessary. Fine hair needs face framing weight removed to avoid a limp look. The emotional advantage is huge. When your hair has motion, it feels like you again. It walks with you, catches the light as you move, and reflects an inner brightness. Remember, length and modernity can coexist. You don't have to chop it all off to look contemporary and pull together. Instead of letting hair be something you manage, make it something that manages for you. A small reshaping, a few strategic layers, and a touch of texture can change not only your silhouette, but your self-perception. Feelings of loss tied to changing a long look are natural, but think of the change as translation, not betrayal. The woman you are now deserves a hair shape that supports her face, her lifestyle, and her confidence. 3. Overly dark hair color. How a too deep shade can quietly drain your glow. Color does something haircuts can't do alone. It controls contrast, warmth, and how light reflects back onto your skin. And those three factors determine whether your face appears radiant or shadowed. An intense, flat, dark color, think jet black or a very deep espresso, can create a stark theme around the face that emphasizes fine lines, conceals natural skin undertones, and reduces the sense of liveliness we want to see. As skin shifts over time, losing some of its youthful rosiness and changing undertones slightly, that deep, one-dimensional color can begin to read as a mask. It pulls the eye to the boundary between hair and face and paradoxically makes the skin look paler or more tired. This effect is especially noticeable in softer lighting or when makeup is minimal, which is often the case in everyday life. The solution isn't a complete surrender to lighter shades. It's a shift toward dimension and warmth, introducing softer, warmer tones like chestnut, caramel, or honey gauze highlights adds reflected light that bounces back into your skin, giving the illusion of a healthy flush and making eyes sparkle. Dimension, through balayage, soft face framing highlights or lowlights, breaks up the helmet effect and creates movement and depth. For those transitioning to gray, blending is key. Subtle highlights and low contrast painting make grays look intentional and integrated rather than patchy or hidden. Additionally, choosing tones that complement your natural complexion, warm undertones with warm shades, cooler skins with ashier accents, will harmonize hair and skin so neither fights the other. From a maintenance point of view, ask your colorist about demi-permanent glosses that deposit shine without harsh line regrowth. These treatments can boost reflectivity and require gentler upkeep. If you worry that lighter tones will expose gray roots, remember that soft, multidimensional color actually makes regrowth less obvious because the eye isn't fixated on a single, uniform line. Emotionally, color changes can feel risky because hair carries identity, but the right shade is not about disguising age. It's about aligning your outward frame with the woman you are today. Small adjustments, a warm highlight here, a low light there, a glossy glaze, can soften the contrast and make your face read brighter and more awake. Think of color as your lighting director when done thoughtfully. It puts your best features center stage and creates a lived-in, elegant finish that feels authentic. 4. No bangs, big problem. Why skipping a fringe can add years and how to do bangs right. Bangs have an unfair reputation. They're often associated with youthful experiments or the hair choices of our younger selves. But when designed with maturity and subtlety in mind, a soft fringe becomes one of the most strategic and flattering tools, especially for women over 60. Wearing no bangs at all can leave the forehead exposed, which may emphasize things like a high hairline, forehead lines, or uneven texture in the upper face. Combined with flat hair at the crown, an uncovered forehead can make the face read longer and draw attention away from the eyes, which are the features that carry warmth, expression, and connection. The right fringe doesn't hide age. It reframes facial proportions. Side swept bangs, for example, are a masterclass in softening. They dart the viewer's attention to the eyes, create diagonal lines that lift the face visually, and grow out gracefully, so you can't be stuck in a heady look. Curtain bangs, softly parted, are another beautiful option because they open the center of the face while still offering a gentle frame. They're especially kind to glasses wearers because they don't compete with frames and they sit harmoniously with lenses. Wispy, airy bangs that are feathered and texturized avoid the blocky, boxy look of the past and instead whisper sophistication and movement. For hair that's thinning, a lightly textured fringe can create the illusion of density at the front. For thicker hair, shorter, softer bangs can be blended into layers so they never feel overpowering. Practical care matters too. Because bangs can show the effects of humidity or oil faster than other sections, a dry shampoo, a light texturizing spray, or a quick blow dry with a small round brush keeps them polished without fuss. And the psychological benefit is often immediate. A fringe can feel like a gentle veil that gives confidence, balances features, and renews interest in your hairstyle without radical change. If you're afraid of commitment, test the look by holding the comb or a soft scarf as a temporary fringe across your forehead. You might be surprised at how it changes the expression of your whole face. When asking your stylist, request bangs that are cut to complement both your hair texture and your lifestyle. Modern bangs are low maintenance when shaped correctly and can be trimmed or softened between salon visits. Remember, adding a fringe is not about trying to look like someone else or denying age. It's about creating a frame that highlights your eyes and smile, the real sources of presence and personality. 5. Dry, dull, lifeless. Why shine and texture matter more than you think. Even the most perfectly cut and color-balanced hairstyle can be undone by hair that looks dry, coarse, or matte, because shine and texture are the silent indicators of hair health that communicate vitality at a glance. Hair that reflects light looks hydrated, smooth, and full of life. Hair that absorbs light appears lifeless and can create shadows that emphasize fine lines and uneven skin tone. As we get older, natural oil production shifts, hair pigment changes, and cumulative damage from heat, chemicals, and sun can roughen the cuticle, the outer layer that needs to lie flat to reflect light. When the cuticle is compromised, light scatters instead of bouncing back, and the overall effect is a dulled, tired appearance. The encouraging news is that shine can be restored and texture improved with intentional, realistic steps. Start with a gentle, hydrating shampoo and a sulfate-free formula that protects color and natural oils. Follow with a rich conditioner or a weekly deep conditioning mask containing ingredients like argan oil, keratin, or collagen, which helps smooth the cuticle and restore elasticity. For immediate improvement, lightweight glosses or clear glaze treatments in the salon add surface shine and seal color without weighing hair down. On the styling front, heat protectant sprays are non-negotiable. They reduce the micro damage from blow dryers and irons and preserve the cuticle. Consider switching to a microfiber towel and patting hair dry instead of rubbing, which creates friction and roughens strands. If your hair is fine, choose products that build body without oiliness. If thicker, opt for smoothing serums used sparingly. Regular trims remove split ends that steal shine and allow your hair to reflect light evenly. Beyond products, small styling techniques. Using a low to medium heat with a round brush to create a polished surface, finishing with a cool blast of air to seal the cuticle, or applying a tiny amount of glossing serum to the ends make a dramatic visual difference. Emotionally, taking simple steps to nourish your hair can feel like an act of self-respect. It communicates that you care for your appearance in a way that supports your inner energy rather than hiding it. Shiny, movable hair lifts the face, draws attention to your eyes and smile, and creates a halo of presence that says you are alive, engaged, and fully here. That's not vanity. It's intention, and it matters. Even gray or silver hair can be luminous with the right care. In fact, a glossy silver finish can read as sophisticated and intentional when the cuticle is smooth and the hair is well maintained. So treat texture and shine as essential parts of your style toolkit. Small investments of time and product bring back bounce, light, and a renewed sense of radiance that complement any haircut or color choice. Integration and intention. How small changes create a big, authentic shift. Now that we've unpacked the 5 common mistakes, too short slat cuts, heavy one-length weight, overly dark color, skipping bangs, and dull texture, it's important to bring all of these lessons together with one guiding principle: intention. Those powerful transformations aren't dramatic revolutions. They're thoughtful, incremental choices that align your hair with who you are now. Start with curiosity rather than judgment. Look at your reflection as data, not a verdict. Which of the 5 areas resonates most with you? Is your shape outdated, your color flattening your complexion, or does your hair lack the shine it once had? Pick one place to begin. If you're feeling uncertain, ask your stylist for a consultation focused on balance and movement rather than just maintenance. A stylist who listens and recommends small structural shifts will be your ally. Imagine a checklist. Add subtle layers to remove weight. Introduce dimension into color to let light play across your face. Experiment with a soft fringe to create balance. And choose nourishing products that restore shine. Each of these items is a small fix, but acts synergistically. When shape, color, and texture are all gently aligned, the result is multiplied. Emotionally, that alignment is transformative. It reinforces that your outward image is not a costume you put on to hide, but a frame that reveals the woman you are. Wise, experienced, and vibrantly present. Don't underestimate the power of maintenance either. Regular trims, seasonal color refreshes, and consistent hair care rituals maintain the investment and keep the look effortless. If change feels intimidating, try temporary experiments first. Quip in face framing pieces, semi-permanent glosses, or a trial fringe using a comb, so you can see the effect without a long-term commitment. And remember, authenticity is your anchor. You don't need to chase youth or trends. Instead, choose elements that amplify your features, respect your lifestyle, and make you feel comfortable and seen. For many women over 60, the payoff is not just compliments, it's renewed confidence. When your hair matches your inner energy, you walk differently, smile differently, and show up for life with an ease that draws people in. That's the heart of this video. Hair is one of many tools you can use to reflect your truth. Make small choices with intention, and the world will notice not the age you are, but the presence you bring. Thank you for spending this time with me. If any of these 5 mistakes felt familiar, know that change is gentle and possible. One small adjustment can make you look and feel more like yourself. If you enjoyed this episode and want more real, relatable, and refreshing conversations about beauty, aging, and confidence after 50 or 60, I would love to have you here at Timeless Wisdom Path. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to tap the bell so you never miss a video. Drop a comment below to share your before and after moments or ask a question. This is your community, and I can't wait to hear your stories. Until next time, stay bold, stay curious, and above all, stay true.